Hello and welcome to the Next Level Supply Chain with GS1 US, a podcast in which we explore the mind-bending world of global supply chain, covering topics such as automation, innovation, unique identity, and more. I'm your co-host, Reed.
And I'm Liz.
And welcome to the show. Liz, can you believe it's already August of 2022?
No, I actually keep thinking that it's like May or June, and here we are, like the kids are back in school where I live already. It's crazy.
Yeah, mine go to back to school next week. They go back to school next week. And did you have a good summer vacation?
Yeah,
vacation.
Yeah, we spent a couple weeks in northern Michigan where for those of you who don't know, I'm in the South. I live in Atlanta. And so the air is a whole different feeling of air up there. It was amazing. And I got to see tanker trucks, because they have a whole different supply chain. And my kids kept making fun of me. Mom, why are you looking at the freight people? Why are you looking at the corrugated boxes here differently? And it follows you. This supply chain follows you.
Yeah. Well, today's episode's a little bit different for our listeners. We're just kind of doing a midsummer touch base and recap. I mean, we've already done 16 episodes for the year. In the news right now, it's August. In the news, you hear that Walmart and Target are a little bit oversupplied because their supply chain caught up. But at the same time, tomatoes are scarce right now. I mean, pizza prices are going up, soup prices are going up, everything related to tomatoes. And this time, a year and a half ago, chicken wings were at an all-time high, and now they're actually below pre-pandemic pricing for chicken wings. So it's like, here we are again. What's what in the zoo? Who's who? Who's where? But
planning is a thing of the past, I think.
What? How could you say that? You fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what my mom said to me every day.
I mean, I don't know how you plan for tomatoes to be shorted. You just plan for the unknown now, maybe. You have to have contingency plans and plan A's and plan B and lots of communication with either your consumer, but within the trading partner, a lot of conversations with all the people up and down your supply chain and your suppliers. And there's a lot of pieces.
And that's what we actually talked about. If you remember the beginning of the year in January, we talked about supply chain resiliency. And that's been the big piece here, right? Like supply chains were always built on efficiencies. And then now you can't have efficiency without resiliency. And then we also have a new war going on with Russia and the Ukraine, which is impacting, different types of products and supplies and supply chain routes, whether air or ship, and even, train and truck. So there's always something going on. So if you're in the supply chain business, that's kind of job security. That there's always something going on and something you have to plan for. But I kind of want to talk about just some of our favorite episodes that we've had kind of in the past, because stay tuned. We already have the rest of the year planned out with very exciting guests to come on the show to talk about a lot of different topics. Some similar to that we've already talked about. We're just doubling down, and others that are net new. And also we'll talk about it again, but if you're interested, please reach out to us. If you want to hear about a certain topic, or if you want to hear more about one, or if you have a topic you want to bring on the show, we're open to that too. But Liz, what are some of your favorite episodes as we're looking back?
So when I was pondering this, I didn't actually have to go that far back to think of the one that really stayed with me. And it really was the conversation that we had with Carol Fowler from Transmute Industries. So y'all know that I am not the IT part of this duo. And she talked about a lot of things, digitizing trade and verifiable credentials. And when she said that verifiable credentials is really just the shipping container of data, it just resonated with me so very much and made something that is really technical and has been a hot topic for so very long. It made it understandable. And it's like, yes, it's this wrapper around the information that you need to have verified. So that to me was one that just will stick with me for a very long time. Another one, because of the work that I do in the industry, is when we talked about food safety with Angela Fernandez. The Food Safety Modernization Act proposed rule is being finalized as we speak, and we'll know exactly what it's going to say in November. But the industry is coming together now to try to determine what we can do with standards. And Angela gave us a really great perspective on what FDA is doing with FSMA as well as tech-enabled traceability. And I think that there's so much to be said about what we can be doing with our food system to improve it. And that brings me to one more, I guess I'll just throw out there, is our conversation that we had with Susan Flake around food waste. She had some very eye-opening statistics for us around how much food is wasted in the U.S. And it's really eye-opening and scary. So I guess those are the three really that stick out right now as the ones that we've recorded this year that have really kind of held a place in my heart.
Yeah,
how about you?
Those are really good. And, just for our audience, like that Angela Fernandez traceability, that's episode 16. I'm sorry, that's episode 19 that happened on June 1st. And the Carol Fowler one, the IT one, the verifiable credentials, like I was geeking out over that one. I really loved it. That was episode 24. And I loved how short your memory is. You were polite about saying, because that was like the last one that just dropped.
It was. We talk about what's mind blowing. That was mind blowing for me. So
yeah, totally. And then the Susan Flake one, I really enjoyed as well. The whole food waste, that was episode 15. But so I'm going to piggyback off of that food waste one, because I really liked the Don't Stress episode, which was episode 18. Don't Stress, the future of traceability. And that was with Katie Jones and Todd from Food Logic. And that was really kind of like cool. Like, listen, you don't you don't eat an elephant in one bite. Like, just start, having small bites. And not that you should eat elephants, but you know the saying, some, sandwich in one bite. Okay.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. So, so I really like that Katie Jones one. And then the other one I liked, which was the metaverse one, the decentralized. I mean, now since that's aired, that was episode 12, right? So that was back in February
with Shelley Palmer, right?
Yeah, with Shelley Palmer.
Yep.
Since it's aired, just this summer, kind of that market has kind of like, really tanked, but I don't think it's going away. I think it's that trough of, what do they call that? Delusion or whatever. Or it's, we're past the hype cycle and now we're in that trough, and then we're going to start moving out. So if you go to Gartner and they have that hype cycle thing, I think we're now on the downside into the trough, and now it's really going to start to becoming mainstay, a part of our world and what we're doing, and it will get there. Here it is, August. As I said, my kids go to school next week. I came out of my office this morning, and my son has a VR headset on, and he's boxing, okay? An hour later, my daughter and her friend that came over, they're doing something else, and they're doing it with like 5 other people on this VR thing, and the person brought their own. So I'm like, it's going that way. So these are 13 and 14-year-olds, doing that. It's going that way. Another one that I liked was the episode 20, Go Gadget Speed. And that was small business, efficiencies with Rockform. So we had Steve and Jeff from Rockform on, and they're just a small business, right? They were doing one thing, saw the economy change, smart business folks, leveraging technologies today. They do a lot of business globally, but they're a small organization. So it's like, I just found it so inspiring, and it wasn't like, like growing up, I was always told, get a good job, get with a good company. And then, we've all seen like, the Rust Belt of America, and where, plants, are being closed, and it has a huge impact on those communities. Mm-hmm. But this digital world that we're we're evolving into is also giving new opportunities to these downsides. Whereas, like, I remember there was a Ford plant where I grew up that closed in the early 80s, and it was taken over and done something else with it. But that impacted a lot of people on jobs. They had to go find other manual labor jobs, and you know, in the 80s, the internet didn't exist, not in public, you know, that we knew of. You know,
Right.
maybe DARPA was building it or something, you know. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool episodes that we've had and a lot of really unique guests.
Yeah, it's been a great year. And Reed, like you said, we have so much that we're planning on talking through in the rest of the year and beyond, actually, because we have consistent conversations about all of this exciting work that we want to talk about on the podcast. One of them that I always have to remind people how to say, the fidgetal. So physical and digital. Yeah.
Physical and digital.
That's, it seems what you just said, even like this is the way the world is going. The physical and digital are smushed together. We actually had a call with some folks yesterday that are bringing together, and you'll all get to hear this as one of the podcast episodes later this year. But doing exactly that is bringing the physical store to the digital consumer, but in a local way. It's just, there's so much going on with so many smart people. It's so much fun to hear about.
Yeah, that locally conversation was really energizing. You know, and so folks, check out locally, you know, see what it thinks. But that conversation will be coming to the podcast in the future here. So, Liz, you've already shared with what's blown your mind, which was, you know, the verifiable credentials, and it's the shipping container. That's really what it is in a digital world. So, what's the technology that's your favorite technology right now? Yeah, that's right, Liz. I put our questions right back on you. So there you go.
So
you can't I asked you first.
You get to answer them next. But I'm so boring. It's my phone. I mean, to be able to have all of this information at my fingertips, whether it's my email or the kids' information or entertainment, when I'm traveling, everything is right there. If I need to open the garage door, I can do that. It's really cool. And I remember being on my college campus with my very first cell phone, not wanting to call anybody because it wasn't 7:00 yet because of friends and family time. I mean, the technology going from there to where we are, to me, favorite technology, and it's also kind of mind blowing on how far we've come. To me, I mean, I just was in college last year, right? I mean,
it's not true. You're the guest speaker.
Yeah, I'm the guest speaker. Exactly. Thanks, Reed.
I'm going back to college next month.
As the guest speaker. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So what's your favorite technology?
You know, there are so many cool things out there. I will just say this, though, right now, it's been the whole year for me, and it's so simple, but it's not simple, and I'm just always amazed. I love music, okay? But I don't know artists. I have so many things going on. There's only so much I can retain, and I don't pay attention to certain things. I just like to enjoy it. Like, I'm not a foodie, right? And everyone's like, "Hello." I just had a business trip to Charleston, South Carolina. Beautiful city. The food is amazing. Amazing. And everyone's like, "Where'd you go?" I'm like, "I don't know. They took me places, and it was really good." "Well, what'd you eat?" I'm like, "Well, I had seafood, pasta, mac and cheese that was like out of this world. Like out of this world." But I don't remember where we ate because I'm not paying attention to the details. I was focused on the people we were with, and that was more important to me in the topic of conversation. But music is kind of the same way for me, and I don't pay attention to it, and I don't have a big music collection, so it's Spotify. And every time the music they recommend to me, I just emphatically trust it now. And I just listen, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." Like, I didn't listen to jazz. I didn't listen to indie, independent music arts and folks. And unfortunately, but fortunately, I had to do a lot of driving the last month. Vacation, see family, take care of family. And I'm so thankful that we can work remotely so I could take care of my mother who's, getting ready to pass on. And I had travel for some business and driving. And Spotify, I was like, I need a podcast. Like I was just listening to the music. Music was good, but I needed a podcast. And wow, there's some really cool things out there. So I was listening to The Hidden Brain. Brain. Yeah. And it's more of a psychology based type thing. And just like blew my mind.
So is that your blow your mind too?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that today, and that's good. All right, next stuff there, Liz. That's moving on. Moving on. Listen, Liz, I think you're just taking cheap shots at me because you know how small my brain is, and anything can blow it. For just for fun for our listeners. So Liz and I were in a meeting with our staff, not our staff, our team that we collaborate with, right? So Liz works for community engagement and I work for innovation and partnerships, but we partner with marketing and we partner with public relations and different teams internally to bring this podcast to you. And so we were having an internal meeting and I was walking into my hotel room on the phone for the meeting and I sat down and I took my shoes off and I'm like, oh my God, I've had my socks on inside out. And Liz is just like, oof. The things from Reed Jackson's mouth. But I left at 5:00 in the morning. It was dark when I got dressed. And
long day.
Yeah, it was 4:30 in the afternoon at that point. And but Liz, I just, I've enjoyed this year with the work we're doing and the guests we've been meeting. And just want to encourage our listeners, reach out, let us know what you'd like to hear more about. Let us know what we're doing that you like and what we're doing that you don't like. I mean, constructive feedback is really welcome. I mean, the fact of, we need it, we need those listens and bring the ideas to us too. And if you want to be on the show, reach out to us. Let us know.
Yep. We love hearing from listeners on all the things we just said. And we want to continue having conversations that y'all want to listen to and are getting benefit and enjoying. So certainly we'd love to hear from you and please continue to reach out.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening today. And we'll be talking to you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you for joining the Next Level Supply Chain with GS1 US. If you enjoyed today's show, you can subscribe to our feed or explore more great episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to share and follow us on social media. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.